Welcome to the University of Concordia in Irvine, site of today's California Collegiate League matchup between the home team, Orange County Riptide, and the visiting Arroyo Seco Saints. And the Riptide have now won 3 in a row after yesterday's win against the Long Beach Legends, but they face arguably their toughest test since the beginning of league play. These teams played each other the very first game for the Riptide in league play. Unfortunately, the bad guys, the Arroyo Seco Saints, came on top in that one 2-0. Thank you for joining me, Michael Hofling, here on the Orange County Riptide Network. We get ready for today's game, and making his first appearance on the mound is going to be Caleb Killian, the man out of Texas Tech University. He is a Red Raider. He's getting ready to raid some batters' boxes with lots of strikes. That was terrible. I apologize. Leading off is going to be the center fielder, Brian Smith, for the Saints. Brian having himself a terrific year. Very speedy. Killian, the right-handed pitcher, went 6-0 in his freshman year with Texas Tech. And the first pitch. Fastball down low off the shin guard of Mitch Andrews behind the plate. 1-0. Awaiting the 1-0 pitch. Killian toes the rubber and delivers. Fouled back into the right side, out of play. 1-1, the count is even. Brian Smith, an outfielder from Occidental. And that's Division III baseball, everybody. But don't let that fool you. Occidental is a very tough school in the very tough SCIAC conference. One of the toughest Division III baseball conferences in the country. Arguably the toughest. Filled with a bunch of D1 talent from Cal Lutheran, who won that conference this year. Occidental, the school where Brian Smith comes from, as well as Laverne, and my school, Chapman. You got a lot of good talent there. 1-2 pitch. A curveball in the dirt gets through Andrews. I don't know how they got through him. He has a hole in his chest protector and his chest, I assume. Even now at 2. Smith awaits the delivery from Killian. And the 2-2. Swung on and grounded, foul to the left side. And we'll do 2-2, take 2. Smith with an average above 300 in the early part of the season. Still early. And the 2-2 is down low with the fastball. It's going to be a full count now. So first batter we see reaches a full count. Killian, as I mentioned, had himself a terrific year at Texas Tech. Didn't lose a single game and had 11 saves. And the pitch. So on a drill back up the middle, Fletcher seems to have a drop on it, and he makes the catch for round number 1. So a little trouble brewing, gets to a full count, but Killian handles it, and Fletcher gets the out for the first one of this game. Arguably the hottest day we've seen here in Irvine. It's blistering out here, a blistering 79. I know that doesn't sound that bad, but trust me. When you're indoors all day studying for baseball games like this, anything in the 70s feels terrible. But that being said, it is still a beautiful day for baseball. First pitch was outside to Gabriel Chavez, the designated hitter. And the 1-0 is lined back up the middle. Fletcher has a drop on him once again, drifts to his right, and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 F8s to lead off this game. And that's going to bring up the 3-hole Spencer Mossberg. Spencer Mossberg playing left field today. Why don't we go through the lineup for the Saints? Leading off was Brian Smith, followed by Gabriel Chavez, then Spencer Mossberg, Blake Burton, Derek Gibri, Dustin Krob, Greg White, Scotty Graham, he's going to be behind the plate, and Alex Briggs is going to be the 9-hole, and that finishes off for them. 0-1 the count now to Mossberg. And Mossberg awaits the delivery. Killian fires. And grounded down the line at third. Polson has a beat. 2 hops and on to first to Polshin for the third and final out of the first. So a very quick 1-2-3 for Killian. Nice work by him, making a good impression on the head coaches early on. We'll head to the bottom of the first. It's the Riptide's turn on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. It's the Riptide's turn at bat, and leading off is going to be the man himself from Lewis and Clark State, Joey Parente. Parente missed the last couple of days, waiting to see if his name would be called in the MLB draft. I got to talk to him, and he says it's a little bit disappointing, but he says looking forward to next year, he's going to kill it when he plays again in college, and then he's going to get an even better opportunity next time around. And the Riptide are glad to have him back. First pitch is swung on and drilled to deep center field. Moving back on it now is Smith. He has a beat and makes the catch for out number one. That's what Parente likes to do. He likes to tackle the first pitch he sees from the pitcher. In this case, it's Tommy Costello. Tommy Costello, the left-hander out of Washington. He's a sophomore, 6'1", 195. He's only 6'1", but he's got a wingspan of about 6'5". And he uses that long left arm of his to really come over and on top of hitters and use that whipping motion to get some extra velocity on it. He can hit low 90s in the first pitch. To Proctor, the DH, is in there for a strike, low and inside corner, 0-1. Reaches low 90s with his fastball. He's also got a slider, a two-seamer, a changeup, and a curve that you won't see very often, though. Second pitch is lined to the left side into the dugout, and a nice grab by the pitching coach, Marcus Pointer, getting a bunch of claps from everybody in the dugout. Impressive play. But now Proctor faces an 0-2 count. Proctor, very comfortable in these situations, finds himself in a lot of 0-2 counts. He's a very aggressive hitter, but learns to be patient when he's down 2 strikes. And the 0-2. Outside, no swing. Ball. It was out of the reach of the catcher, Graham. And I always wondered on those situations, 2 strikes and then the ball gets away from the catcher, why not just swing and then run on down to first? It's going to be tough for the catcher to get to it in time, get that drop third strike. You might be on. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. A foul tip. Keep the count at 1-2. Dug out by the umpire pretty well. A lot of nice plays thus far, and we're only half an inning through. So we'll do 1-2 again. And the pitch. A big swing and a miss. He got him, struck him out. Will Proctor goes down swinging. And now that's going to bring up the 3-hole in the Riptide lineup. Dominic Fletcher out of the University of Arkansas, where he was 4th on the team in home runs and actually led the SEC in home runs for freshmen with 12. So he has some good pop. Costello toes the rubber and fires. First pitch swung on and fouled, dribbled to the left side. Went off of his foot, so it's dead. Fletcher has made a good impression thus far in his first few games. In his first home game, that was against the Conejo Oaks. Against the Academy Barons, actually. That was his first home game. He went 3 for 5. So he's done well while he's been in the Riptide uniform. The 0-1 drilled to the right side, foul, 0-2. And already the umpire needs more baseballs. A lot of contact, a lot of good contact, and a lot going out of play as well. Take a look at the defensive lineup for the Arroyo Seco Saints. From left to right, it's Spencer Mossberg, Brian Smith, and Greg White. At third, it's going to be Alex Briggs. Short, Derek Gibri. Second baseman is Dustin Krob. The 0-2 is low and outside, ball 1. And at first base is Blake Burton. And behind the plate, Scotty Graham. He'll be in the squat, putting down the signs. And on the mound, Tommy Costello. The 1-2 delivery. Fletcher swings and lines it down the right field line. Hooks just foul over the first base bag. Count will remain at 1-2. The Saints and the Riptide both coming off of wins yesterday. The Saints, the first walk-off win of California Collegiate League baseball play. And that was over the Long Beach Legends, a final score of 8-7. Riptide beating the Academy Barons, winning that 1-1. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Krob has it on 2 hops and tosses on over the first for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for both teams in this first inning. We head to the second. Score is still 0-0 on the OC Riptide Network. I'm Michael Loefling. Stay tuned. Blake Burton to lead things off for the Saints in the top half of the second. It was 3 up, 3 down for Caleb Killian in his first appearance for the Riptide, looking to do the same here. In the first pitch to Burton, low and outside with the fastball, 1-0. Blake Burton currently leads the CCL in batting average, at least in among qualified hitters in his 4 games played, .526 average. His grandmother's here today cheering him on. And from what I've heard, he's had a pretty stellar last couple of games. That's why he's in the 4 spot. The 2-0 delivery. At the knees with a fastball, a good challenge yelled by Tiger Peterson, the head coach for the Riptide. It's 2-1. Still in the hitter's advantage, Killian looking to climb back. And the 2-1. Swung and fouled straight back into the chain link fence. It's even at 2. Burton over there at first base. Not your typical first baseman. Does have some decent speed. 2 stolen bases on the year. No extra base hits as well, except for his 1 home run. So he's either going to line it into center or he's going to knock it over the wall. Not necessarily gap timing he has. But he does make very good contact, the 2-2. There's the hammer, gets him on the inside corner. First strikeout for Killian. Grab some pine, Burton. So a nice series of pitches by Killian, climbs back from a 2-0 count to get Burton looking, and now he's going to come up against the shortstop, Derek Gabri. Gabri, the junior infielder from St. Leo University. He's from Clearwater, Florida. There's one thing I know about Florida. It doesn't necessarily have very clear waters, but still a nice town. 0-1 the count and the pitch. A big cut and the miss on the changeup. It's 0-2. First 0-2 count that Killian has seen himself in tonight. Still early at 0-0, no hits for either team. And the 0-2. Up high with the fastball, 1-2. Gabri 300 on the year, exactly 300 in his 5 games he's appeared in. Only singles, though. A big swing and a miss. Killian gets 2 in a row via the strikeout. This time it's swinging, and Gabri goes down. Grabs some pine.
Next up, the second baseman, number 4, Dustin Krob.
That's going to bring up the 6th spot, Dustin Krob. Dustin, a 4th-year junior at Dayton. 5'10", 195 from Illinois. That's one thing I see when I'm looking at these 2 rosters between the Riptide and the Saints. The Saints got a lot of people from all over the country. You got Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, North Carolina, Tennessee. When it comes to the Riptide, Most of them are California. And then you got some from Texas, and you got Blair Lewis from Pennsylvania. And that being said, both these teams have had great seasons. The count is 2-1 now. That fastball was down low below the knees. 2 away in the top of the second. Dustin Krob, the one facing Killian. Killian set down 2 on strikes, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. 2-2. Krob, .211 average on the season. He has 3 singles and a double. The 2-2 down low with the fastball. Count runs full. He's been having some difficulty getting on base thus far. Very aggressive hitter to the full count pitch. Swung on and fouled. A little dribbler to the left side. Count will remain 3-2. We'll do it all over again. .238 on base percentage and a .263 slugging. So he's having some difficulty getting good contact. He's still a dangerous hitter. And they know that in the Arroyo Seco dugout. That's why he's in the lineup batting 6th. 3-2. Another foul tip in and out of the glove of Andrews. A little bit disappointed with himself. He couldn't hold on to that one. And we'll do it all over again. Once again. 3-2, take 3. Andrews behind the plate today. Polshin over there at first. Cooper Ewell nowhere to be found in the Riptide dugout. And the payoff pitch. Swung and fouled straight back. Would have been straight at me pretty much, but there is a fence here to protect me. I flinched a little, not going to lie. Two outs away in the top of the second. No hits for either team. Here's a swing and a miss. He got them 3. Well, it's a drop third strike. They're going to toss it on over to first. And no harm, no foul. 3 gone via the strikeout for Killian. He's making a great impression. We head to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Polshin, and Shaw. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. We'll be right back. So the Riptide are up to bat in the bottom of the second here at the University of Concordia, Irvine. Sunny and shiny here. Great day for baseball and a great day for a Riptide game. Why don't you come on out to the game and enjoy the atmosphere? Maybe get one of those hot dogs that smell oh so good. You can smell them every game, and I haven't gotten one yet. But I've been craving one lately. Logan Polson's going to be the first one up to face Tommy Costello in the first pitch. Low and outside, right through the glove of Scotty Graham. 1-0. Polson out of the University of Hawaii. Started there on the bench and then eventually grew into a starting role, and he proved to be a vital asset to the Warriors team. There's a strike, 1-1. Polson having himself one heck of a year. In fact, he's batting above the 300 mark, 310. Here's a swing and a high pop-up heading into the Riptide dugout. And it lands on the fence of the Riptide dugout. Hopefully everybody got their fingers off. Otherwise, Yikes, that could hurt. That's a dangerous doctor bill if you leave your fingers on there. I've had an injury sort of the same while I was playing air hockey, so a lot less manly, but still, you get the idea. Crushing your fingers hurts. So they'll do it again. It's 1-2 the count now, and the pitcher's advantage. Costello looking to do some damage early on. He had a pretty quick 3 up, 3 down the first, getting Parente to fly out and Proctor to strike out. And the 1-2. A curveball, he tries to get him with the hammer, but it falls low and away. 2-2, the count is even. Polson, 7 singles and 2 doubles. In his 33 plate appearances, only struck out 5 times. He hates doing that. He has 2 strikes on the though, and here he swings and lines it into the 34 hole for the first hit of the game. Right out of the reach of Krob at second, and Polson's going to be on first with nobody out.
Next up, the first baseman from Houston Baptist University, number 8.
And that's going to bring up Jake Polshin from Houston Baptist University. Polshin normally behind the plate, but with Cooper Ewell nowhere to be found today. He's going to be playing first. Last home game against the Academy Barons. A win for the Riptide. Polshin played first there. Polson played third. There's a changeup down low below the knees, 1-0. Polson not necessarily a threat to go. He has gone once and promptly got thrown out. But if something squirts away from Graham behind the plate, watch Polson go. The 1-0 to Polshin, a fastball on the low and outside corner. It's 1-1. Polshin, arguably the best hitter for the Riptide this year. .350 average. He does have a tendency to strike out a little bit too much, though. There's a swing and a miss on a changeup down below the knees. It's 1-2. On deck, waits the left fielder Tate Shaw. Hopefully Polshin can get on. The 1-2 from Costello. Swung on and dribbled to the third baseman, who kicks it off of his leg. Briggs couldn't handle it, and everybody's going to be safe on the E5. So now the catcher, Graham, going to go out and talk to his man, Costello. Costello in his year for Washington University as a Husky made 3 appearances, gave up 3 runs, all of those in the same game. And he says his favorite ball player is Clayton Kershaw, and I can't blame him. Costello's a lefty, Kershaw's a lefty. Costello likes to make people look silly at the mound. That's pretty much what Kershaw does. Now here the first baseman and third baseman are going to play in on the grass, expecting the sacrifice bunt perhaps. Tate Shaw, the lefty, getting ready to face the lefty Costello. And the first pitch swung on and dribbled to the right side, foul, 0-1. And ladies, a thing to know about Tommy Costello is he likes to cook. That's rare to find a guy who can do that well. I can only make quesadillas, and that's pretty much the easiest thing you can make. So Tommy Costello, possibly a keeper, ladies, if you're listening. Swing and a miss from Shaw. Gets away from Graham, and the runners are going to head up 90 feet. Runners at second and third, no outs. 0-2 the count. So 0-2 the count to Tate Shaw, his first at-bat of the day. Batting in the 6th hole for Tiger Peterson and the Riptide. And the 0-2. The hammer on the outside corner gets him looking. That's one away, but still with runners at second and third, anything is going to score a run from Bo Phillip, who has been on fire the past couple of games. Bo Phillip has 5 hits in his last 2 games and 11 hits over the last 3. 8 hits over the last 3. That'd be an amazing 6-hit game. So on the wild pitch, it's runners at second and third, 1 away. 1 hit in this contest came off the bat of Logan Polson earlier this inning. The first pitch is swung on and fouled straight back, 0-1. Phillip from San Joaquin Delta JC, having himself a fine year, looking to possibly play for a Division I college next year. I don't want to put any pressure on him, but there is a scout here that said he was looking at him from San Diego State. And the 0-1. Up high with the fastball, 1-1. Runners at second is Jake Polshin. On third, Logan Polson. The 1-1. Up high with the fastball. Once again, it's 2-1, and now we're in Phillip's favor. Phillip, early on in the year, had a 130 average, and he was really struggling. Head coach Tiger Peterson not sure what to do with him in the lineup, kept him in for his solid glove work. In the past 5 games, he's raised that average to 269. And there he lines one into the 56 hole into left field. They're going to send Polshin around third at the plate. He slides, and he is safe. 2 runs come across. Phillip moves up to second, and it's an early 2-0 lead for the Orange County Riptide. So Bo Phillip keeps his hot hitting going, now up to a 6-game hit streak, and that average continues to climb. Well done. That's going to bring up the catcher now, Mitch Andrews. Andrews seemingly in a platoon role this year behind the plate with Ewell and Polshin. Gets the call today. Andrews has started 4 games behind the plate. For the Riptide. Takes the first one down low, 1-0. 4 games behind the plate, once as the DH, and in those 4 games, they are 3-1. So possibly looking to keep that winning mentality going for Andrews. The 1-0 swung on and popped up on the right side. Looks like it's going to be out of play, and it is right above the Arroyo Seco dugout. It's 1-1. And although Andrews hasn't been having the best season in the batter's box, behind the plate, he calls a spectacular game. You talk to some of the pitchers. I was talking to Orndorff and Sam Miller, and they both said they love having Andrews behind the plate because he knows the game so well and calls great pitches. One thing Orndorff said was there was one scenario, I can't remember what team it was against, but Orndorff was thinking one pitch to get a hitter out. Andrews called something completely different, never even crossed Orndorff's mind, but of course it worked out. That ball is high and outside, 2-1 the count now on the fastball. And Orndorff said that's just something you want, your catcher. You want to be able to trust him. You want to be able to believe he knows what to do in every situation. That's exactly what Andrews brings to the table. Only 1 hit on the year, looking to make it 2. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on in, popped up. This one's going to be in play. Graham has a beat on it behind the plate and makes the catch for out number 2. So the P2. Now there's 2 away with the runner at second. And Phillip, a little bit of a sneaky play there. He saw nobody was covering second, so tried to take third, and when they realized it pretty quickly, he just headed on back, knew he was going to be safe. That's heads up. That's going to bring up the 9 spot, Paul Gomez. 2 away and 2 through in this half inning. A 2-run single by Bo Phillip. Now he's standing at second in scoring position for Gomez. And the first pitch. On the inside corner with a fastball, looked like a 2-seamer. It's 0-1. Gomez in his 4 games played 200 average. Does have a double. No RBIs, though, looking to get his first of the year. In the pitch. Low and inside. Nice block by Graham behind the plate. 1-1, the count is even. A single by Polson. An error by Briggs at third put Polshin on first. It was first and second. And a wild pitch from Costello put them at second and third, and then a single from Phillip. As has been the case most of the time, Phillip comes through. Here's a line drive to left field. Mossberg moving back, but makes the catch for out number 3. But not before 2 runs come across for the Riptide. We're going to head to the third, and the Riptide up 2-0. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. We're in the third inning here at the University of Concordia in Irvine, and the Riptide off to an early 2-0 lead, looking to win their fourth in a row. They beat the Conejo Oaks in Thousand Oaks at Sparky Anderson Field at Cal Lutheran. The first pitch of the third is popped up on the infield. Phillip is underneath it, and Greg White is retired for the first out of the third. So very quickly, but that does end Killian's 3-strikeout streak. There's a dark side to everything, I guess. But now there's one away. And this is going to bring up the catcher, Scotty Graham. First pitch to him. Fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. And the second pitch. Down low in the dirt. Nice block by Andrews. Nobody on base, though. It's 1-1. The count is even. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Riptide. Still no hits for the Saints. Pitching has been their strong point all year. Even in that first game against the Riptide, the 2-0 game, it was pitching that won it for them. The Riptide only getting 3 hits in that game. The 2-1 is fouled off to the left side into the parking lot. Count is now 2-1. 2-2, excuse me. It's even. Trying to make sure he doesn't put anybody on base. Killian off to a spectacular start. A swing and a miss. He got him. Grab some pine, Graham. Two outs here in the top of the third. Killian killing them all. I love puns. That's going to bring him to the plate, the 9th spot. Alex Briggs. Briggs with a costly error in the bottom of the second. Off the bat of Jake Polshin. First pitch to him. 2-seam fastball runs inside. 1-0 the count. Briggs yet to have a hit this year. Did start one game. This is his second opportunity in the starting lineup for the Saints. Took that one inside once again. It's 2-0. This is the last thing you want to do is walk the 9-hitter. But Killian has found himself in the 2-0 count before. Here this one's popped up to the second baseman, Gomez, who read it very quickly and got to it in time for out number 3. So 9 up, 9 down for Killian. First time through the lineup, absolutely nothing doing. He has been spectacular. We head to the bottom of the third. Riptide up 2-0. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. Top of the lineup coming up for the Riptide here in the bottom of the third. It's Joey Parente. Parente off to a fascinating start, 389 average. Only one double, his only extra base hit, and you'll be astonished to hear what that double was. First pitch from Costello. The slider runs outside, it's 1-0. That double was to lead off the game here at the University of Concordia against the Conejo Oaks. It was a ground ball into center field, and their center fielder just wasn't paying attention to Parente. Parente came blistering around first and just took second before the throw could get there. So got some good wheels. And 2-0 is now 2-1 after that fastball goes on the inside corner. Parente usually is very patient. However, I have mentioned when he leads off, he likes to tackle the first pitch. The 2-1. Down low, the slider below the knees. 3-1, we're in the hitter's count. And the 3-1 delivery from Costello. Two-seam fastball, low and outside corner. The count is full. Parente, his family always comes to these games. They had it right. They brought an umbrella. I'm liking the look of all these umbrellas. No shade for me, though. And the full count pitch, a slider that runs outside. Parente will lead off the inning on base with a walk. So over the second straight inning, somebody has gotten onto first to lead it off. That's going to bring up the number 2 hole, Will Proctor, who's DHing today, usually playing second or short. He's even pitched an inning for the Riptide. The man from Georgia. His sister also goes to Georgia, trying to major in international affairs. Good time to do that. Parente bluffs a steal. First pitch is outside on the fastball. It's 1-0. Parente has great wheels, and he's definitely a threat to go, but Costello, his pickoff move is very, very deceiving. So got to be careful if you're over there. Parente, on the first pickoff attempt, it was in the dirt, but Parente didn't have to get dirty there. And that's a good thing. As I mentioned, his parents are here, and they don't want to see laundry in front of their eyes. 1-0, the count to Proctor. And Parente goes. Pitches inside. The throw down is not in time. It goes into center field, and Parente is going to take third. So a stolen base, and the error by Graham puts a runner 90 feet away with nobody out. And that's exactly what you like to see. Parente always a threat to go. 2 stolen bases on the year. Did get thrown out once against Conejo. But who didn't get thrown out in that one? I was talking to one of the Conejo players after that game. Parente and Greenfield both got thrown out in the same inning. The 2-0 inside, 3-0. So two Riptide players got thrown out in the same inning, and also a Conejo player hit a home run that game. And I said, who got more pats on the back and high fives going into that dugout? And he said, oh, by far our catcher. He absolutely destroyed the base pass, and I guarantee you he was in the minds of Riptide base stealers later that night. 3-1 the count to Proctor now. Looking to drive in that runner from third. No one out. The 3-1 line straight back. How do they do it? The parents for some of these Riptide players just sitting right there in front of that fence. Ball landed straight in front of them and not even in motion. It's like nothing even happened. I'm 15 feet away from the fence. If it goes even near me, I hide and cower. The full count pitch. This one's grounded into the 56 hole, but Briggs has it at third. He fires on over to first for out number 1, but Parente comes in to score, and now it's 3-0. So Proctor manufactures the run. That's exactly what you want to do. And now there's one away, nobody on base for the center fielder from the University of Arkansas, Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher's first time up, he grounded out to Krob over there at second. And the first pitch. This one's a base hit. Dominic Fletcher continuing his stellar start to Riptide play, and they love seeing him in that jersey. Now 1 for 2 on the day. So first pitch he sees, he likes it, and pulls it into that 34 hole. And once again, there's a runner on first. One away. Polson, his last time up, singled and would eventually score on the single by Bo Phillip. Polson awaits the first pitch. And it's swung on and drilled into the gap in right center. That's going to drop. And Polson is now 2 for 2 on the day after his second hit in as many innings. So it's runners at first and third. One away for Jake Polson.
Number 8, Jake Polson.
Polson, last time up, got on via the error. That's not what he usually does. He loves to get on via the hit. He has such impeccable timing at the plate. He sees a pitcher once, and then the next time he's up, he's got him timed almost perfectly. You'll notice that most of his hits, and when I say most, I'm saying 7 out of his 8 have been back up the middle right past the pitcher. And there's one sort of past the pitcher, but it's in center field. It hangs up there. The runner at third is going to tag. He's going to score. Polson tries to tag and take second. He is safe. So Polson able to move the runners up from first and third. A run comes across. It's 4-0 Riptide with a runner at second, 2 away for Tate Shaw, the left fielder.
Next up, the left fielder from University of Texas, number 4, Tate Shaw.
Looking to get a 2-out RBI. Looking to make good contact. Shaw, in his first home game against the Barons, made a great impact immediately. The fans loved him. Because in the first inning he was out there on the field, he made a sliding catch. This one's going to run in and hit him on the shoulder. He's going to be on first. Now it's going to be first and second, 2 away for Bo Phillip. And what other guy would you want up there at this point? As I was mentioning, Tate Shaw, before that at bat, batting .333. Even had an extra base hit and 2 RBIs. But it was that sliding play on the foul line in left that really got the crowd going. The loudest they've been all year, in my opinion. In the top of the first. That shows you just how good of a play it was. First pitch to Phillip. Fastball just below the knees. 1-0. Costello making his second appearance of the year for the Saints. His first start of the year. He's running into a little bit of difficulty right now. Finds himself down 4-0. He's going to step off and look back at the runner at second, Polson. Phillip has a tendency to strike out, but the count is 2-0 after that slider runs low below the knees. But as I've talked about Phillip's hot streak, his strikeouts have also gone down. In his 6-game hit streak, he's only struck out once. So early on in the year, something clicked for him, and now all of a sudden he is a potential all-star. Here's a high, deep fly ball to center field. Smith moved back but has a beat and makes the catch for out number 3. But 2 more runs come across in the bottom of the third. The scoreboard says 3, but I know my math. I graduated 3rd grade. It's 4-0 Riptide as we head to the top of the 4th on the OC Riptide Network. is going to be the leadoff man for the Saints here in the top of the fourth inning. It's 4-0 Riptide. 4 runs on 4 hits, and all 4 of those coming in the last 2 innings. Caleb Killian returning out there for his 4th inning of work, and he has been absolutely marvelous. 9 up, 9 down. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to jinx anything. But he has a perfect game going. This one's popped up to the right fielder, Parente. Parente has a sure glove and makes the catch out there in right for out number 1. Not only that, not only does he have 10 up, 10 down now after that first out, but he's done it in just 32 pitches. So his arm is pretty loose still. And he has the potential to do something great. First pitch to Chavez. Chavez shows bunt and takes, pulls it back, and it's 1-0. Chavez is going to call time. Chavez out of Rio Hondo Junior College. He's 5'6", the shortest man on this Saints team. Shortest man on either team out here today. Takes a fastball low and inside corner. 1-1, the count is even. He is tough to strike out, but Killian has proven that he can do it. He's 0 for 1 on the day. 2-1 is the count now. First time up, flew out to Fletcher out there in center. Killian with 4 strikeouts on the day. In that second inning, he struck out all 3 he faced. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop, Phillip. Phillip has it on 2 hops and tosses on over to first for Pulsion. So the nice backhand play by Phillip, and there's 2 gone here in the 4th. Phillip with 2 RBIs on the day. He was the reason that they scored 2 in the second inning. And the last time up, made the last out of the 3rd. Flew out to Smith in center. Coming up now is Spencer Mossberg. Mossberg's 0 for 1. First pitch, low and inside, 1-0. This is a tough team to do well against if you're on the mound. In fact, they have the 2 best hitters batting average-wise in the California Collegiate League, in Mossberg and Burton, the man on deck. Here's a ground ball to the left side, foul, 1-1. Killian toes and the delivery. In there at the knees with a fastball, 1-2. And Killian just playing catch. It's almost like there's no hitter up there. Killian out of Flower Mound, Texas, a sophomore at Texas Tech. A Red Raider. And the 1-2 runs in, and this one's going to hit him. So there goes the perfection. Maybe just trying to send a message, remind him, hey, I might be pretty good, but occasionally I can get wild. Don't crowd my batter's box. Killian, for the first time, is going to have to pitch out of the stretch. And we'll see if that causes the Saints to be able to get some momentum off of him. So after the hit by pitch, there's still 2 away, but a runner on first for Blake Burton. Burton struck out his last time up. It was looking, and that was in that 3 strikeout second inning. Burton, the 3rd-year sophomore, outfielder from Washington, a teammate of Tommy Costello. The righty awaits the delivery from Killian. First pitch. Line down the right, line and right, but slicing foul and out of play, 0-1. The count now to Burton. Burton awaits the pitch. Not a big leadoff from Mossberg at first. But he does go. And that's going to get into the hole. The second baseman Gomez went to cover the steal. And that opened up a huge hole on the right side. So the hit and run works. A nice call there from the Arroyo Seco coaching staff. It's going to be 1st and 3rd with 2 away. And as I mentioned, maybe having Killian in the stretch will open some stuff up for the Saints. So in this 31 situation, Andrew's going to go out and call a play for this moment, trying to make sure no 31 shenanigans are going on. Andrews gives the signal and sets up. The delivery from Killian, low and outside, 1-0 with a fastball. Defense lined up pretty straight away. Gomez maybe playing a little close to second base, a little to the left of where he would be normally. There's a changeup at the knees. It's 1-1. So a hit by pitch on Mossberg, and then a single, the first hit of the game for the Saints by Burton, has runners at first and third on the hit and run. And now it comes to Derek Gibbrey. Derek Gibbrey takes one there. It's 1-2. Gabri has the opportunity to cut this lead to 3, maybe even 2. It's 4-0 Riptide. 4 runs on 4 hits for Orange County. And their record is 4-4 in league play. Here's a ground ball to the third baseman, Polson. He charges and fires on the first. Not in time! Gabri beats it out. That's why he's a shortstop. So the second hit on the second time that Killian has had to face the runner in the stretch. Now there's runners at first and second, still 2 away. And Andrews is going to go out and talk to his man on the mound. Andrews, as I mentioned, somebody who's very useful for a team behind the plate. Almost like a pitching coach out there. And that's a good thing because the rule is you can only send your pitching coach out there twice an inning. The first time for a meeting. The second time, you have to bring somebody in. Bullpen is going for the Riptide. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we get word. But having Andrews out there to just calm down the pitcher, you can go out there. It adds maybe 1 or 2 more visits in an inning. First pitch is swung on and fouled straight back, 0-1. 4-1 now. The Riptide still lead. 2 runs in the bottom of the third, 2 runs in the bottom of the second, but 1 run for the Saints here in the top of the fourth. After that single by Gabri brought home Spencer Mossberg. Owen won the count to Dustin Krob, who struck out his last time up against this very same Killian. The 0-1 pitch, a line to right field. Parente has a beat and makes the nice over-the-shoulder catch against that sun. That's tough to do, and Parente showing off why he is the father of fielding, no pun intended. We head to the bottom of the fourth now. Riptide lead 4-1, looking to get that run back. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. We'll be right back. It's 4-1 here in the bottom of the fourth at the University of Concordia in Irvine. I'm Michael Oefling. Thank you for tuning into the Orange County Riptide Network. Mitch Andrews to lead things off for the home team, Orange County. Andrews 0 for 1 on the day. Pops straight up to the catcher, Graham. Here he lines it foul into the Arroyo Seco bullpen. It's 0-1 the count. Andrews, a longtime Chicago Cubs fan. That being said, he is from Texas, So when he brings his jersey, he gets a lot of flack for being a bandwagoner, but he proves it. Does wear his Chris Bryant jersey a lot, which is the go-to bandwagon player for the Chicago Cubs, but he has proven on multiple occasions he knows a thing or two about his Cubbies. It's 0-2 the count out of him. He actually has a Carlos Zambrano jersey as well, and talking about old school, that's, well, not exactly old school, but 2000s Chicago Cubs. That's what you're talking about, Carlos Zambrano. The 0-2 is lined into left field. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is foul. And Andrews is going to have to head back. And that's tough for someone to swallow, for someone like Andrews who's struggling at the plate. From here, it looked like it was fair. Looked like some chalk got kicked up, but who am I to judge the call of an umpire? 0-2, the count remains. Andrews looking to stay calm and wait for Costello, who's back out there for his fourth inning of work, to make a mistake. The 0-2. This one's grounded back up the middle, but the shortstop Gabri has it, and he fires on over to Burton at first for out number 1. So one away. First time in the last 3 innings that the leadoff hitter has not gotten on for the Riptide. Now that's going to bring up the 9 spot. Paul Gomez. Gomez out of Cypress Junior College, but he's been in talks with a lot of colleges for next year. That same scout that was here for Phillip also said he would like to look at Gomez. That one dribbles foul right past first base. 0-1. But Gomez also took a little bit of time off from the Riptide to talk with TCU, looking to become a Horned Frog. I have a little bit of history with them. That was the first college that ever sent me a letter. Sent me a letter saying they wanted me. Not for baseball. Good lordy, I would never be able to hit a baseball. I can't do that. I can barely catch a baseball. 0-1 the count now to Gomez. Inside with a fastball. 0-2 now. Gomez finds himself in an early 0-2 hole. 1 away in the bottom of the 4th. It's 4-1 Riptide. 4 runs on 4 hits and an error. 1 run on 2 hits for the Saints. A swing and a miss. He got him. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Costello. That's going to bring up the top of the lineup now, Joey Parente. Parente 0 for 1, flew out to the center fielder Smith, and then walked and would come around to score after a stolen base and an error by Graham behind the plate on the throwdown, trying to get him stealing. Costello delivers. Parente takes the first one, a slider that runs outside, a little backdoor attempt there. Parente not doing that. 1 ball, no strikes. And the 1-0. Swung and grounded into the hole, into the 34 hole on the right side into right field. Parente will be on for the first time via a hit. Now Will Proctor is going to come up. Proctor, arguably the most pop on this team, along with Dominic Fletcher and Logan Polson. Actually tied for the CCL lead in triples. Also has a couple doubles as well. So Parente might be on first with 2 outs, but Proctor has the capability of getting him home from there. And Parente, not a slouch at first over there either, has a stolen base already. With 2 away, this might be the perfect time to do so again. The first pitch to Proctor, just below the knees. It's 1-0. There was a time earlier in the season when Glenn Walker, the first base coach, was running almost every time somebody got on base. That was the time that Polson tried to steal a base. And they tried to steal 6 times in that game against Conejo. They got thrown out 5 times. Parente leading off. Here's a ground ball down the line to third, and Briggs can't handle it again. His second error. Parente is going to round second. He's going to be in third. Proctor is going to head to second on the E5. So the second error of the game by Briggs. And his runners at second and third, 2 away, and they've got 2 in scoring position for Fletcher. And Fletcher is 1 for 2 on the day. Graham going to go out and talk to his man Costello. Costello, 64 pitches on the day. And now their pitching coach is going to go out and talk to him as well. The bullpen is going for the Saints. It doesn't look like they're going to make a change. If they were making a change, I believe Costello would have handed their pitching coach the pearl already. In the bullpen getting loose is Quentin Robinson, the right-handed senior from Tennessee. He would be the volunteer should Costello come out. But Costello is staying in. Robinson is the only one in the bullpen right now. As I mentioned earlier, in the top of this inning, bullpen was going for the Riptide, but right now nobody warming up for them. It looks like Killian is going to head out there for a fifth inning of work. 4 runs on 6 hits. And 2 errors for the Riptide. Second and third, first pitch to Fletcher is outside, 1-0. The runners at second and third are Proctor and Parente after 2 quick outs from Andrews and Gomez. The top of the lineup came up. Parente quickly singled, and then the error by Briggs put 2 in scoring position. Fletcher, the man you want up there in the pitch. Swung on and drilled into the 34 hole into right field. They're going to send Proctor around, and he will score as well. It's a 2-run single, and Fletcher's going to try to take second. He gets in there, and that almost got into center field, but a nice play by Gabri keeps Fletcher at second. So a 2-out, 2-run single by Fletcher puts the Saints up 6-1, their 3rd straight 2-run inning. And that's going to bring up the first baseman from Hawaii, the 3rd baseman today, Logan Polson. Polson, 2 for 2. And the base hit would do them wonders here, extend that lead to 6. First pitch from Costello. The hammer drops in there at the knees, 0-1. 3rd time in the last 3 innings that Polson has come up to the plate. In the second, he singled and then would come around to score. In the third, the 0-1, low and away, it's 1-1, it's even. In the third, he singled and then made a risky play, tagging from first after Jake Polson sacrifice flew out, but he would be safe though. A big cut, swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Trying to hit a 5-run home run there, Polson was. Polson comfortable in the 2-strike situation. He's got power, but he can hit it opposite field. That's where a lot of his RBIs have come. He is an RBI machine like Adrian Gonzalez back in his prime. Here's a swing and a ground ball to the first baseman, Burton, who tosses on to Costello for out number 3. But 2 more runs come across. 3rd straight time I've said that for the Riptide. It's 6-1 as we head to the 5th inning on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Riptide. It's David Orndorff, the man out of Cincinnati. It took me a while to learn his last name, but it is in fact Orndorff. Final line for the starter, Killian. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, 4 strikeouts, and 1 hit batsman. No walks. He was spectacular. But Tiger Peterson making the calls. And after that last inning where he gave up 1, decided to take him out. First pitch from Orndorff is a ball high and inside to Greg White, the right fielder. Orndorff out of the stretch. Out of the windup, delivers a strike. It was fouled straight back, 1-1. Orndorff has made a couple appearances for the Riptide. In his 3 innings pitched, has a 3 ERA, meaning he gave up 1 run in those 3 innings of work. He gave up 6 hits. He really danced around trouble his last time. But he has very good control, albeit the count is 2-1 right now. Has only walked 1 batter. And does not give up a lot of hard contact. He got a little unlucky. That curveball is in the dirt. We apologize for the stream. And that one's gonna rattle in. Now I see a chain link fence in the video. It's 2-2. To White, who swings and dribbles it to the left side right in front of the Riptide dugout. 2-2 it remains. White digs in, awaiting the delivery from Orndorff. He pitches just high on the fastball. It's full now. On deck waits the catcher, Scotty Graham, the 3-2. Swung on and drilled into center field, but right at Fletcher, who didn't even have to move, drifts slightly to his right and makes the catch for out number 1. That's going to bring up the catcher, as I said, Scotty Graham. Graham 0 for 1 on the day, struck out against Killian, but now he's facing off against Orndorff. And the first pitch. Swung and popped up. Looks like it's going to be out of play in the Riptide dugout, and indeed it does. A couple of the trainers ducking away from that. What are you doing over there in the Riptide dugout? You got to protect those trainers. They're the ones who take care of you before the game. You're the ones with gloves. Orndorff still out of the windup. He delivers and grounded back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So Graham gets on with 1 away here. Right over the head of Orndorff. Looked like it got a pretty good bounce off the pitcher's mound. That's going to bring up the 9th spot, Alex Briggs. And Briggs looking for a little bit of redemption after he's made 2 errors in this one to lead to 4 unearned runs against Costello. Orndorff out of the stretch. A small lead for Graham. First pitch. Fastball just below the knees, 1-0. 6-1, the Riptide lead. We're in the top of the 5th. 1 run on 3 hits for the Saints. Pickoff attempt, diving back in safely is Graham. Graham only about 2.5 steps off of first. Not much of a lead, but Orndorff keeping him honest. Orndorff is from the University of Cincinnati, and I'm not sure if you know this, but their mascot is the Bearcats. And the first thing I wanted to know when I got introduced to David was, what exactly is a Bearcat? And as soon as I said, so you're from the University of Cincinnati, before I could say anything else, he said, do you want to know what a Bearcat is? And I said, no way, how'd you know? And he said, everybody who comes to play them. That's the first thing they ask. So eventually he told me the count is 2-1 right now to Briggs. He delivers. Check swing and a miss. They're going to say he went through. 2-2, the count is even. But Orndorff told me it's sort of like a small panda cat thing. Those were his exact words. And he said every University of Cincinnati athlete gets to see one, a live one that's kept at the Cincinnati Zoo. And they bring it over at the beginning of each year and let all the athletes go over and pet it. 2-2 the count now. Briggs waiting the delivery. Grounded into the hole. Gomez trying to get to it. Just out of his reach. It's going to get into right field for a base hit. So it's going to be runners at first and second with one away. That's going to bring up the top of the lineup as well, Brian Smith. Smith is 0 for 2. Flyouts to Fletcher in center and Parente in right. But those were against Killian, and Orndorff looking like he's having a little bit of difficulty making his pitches early on. But the one thing Orndorff said about the Bearcat, the one thing he said he could never forget, was that it smelled like popcorn. First pitch to Smith, fastball at the knees, 0-1. And I said, well, I'm sure there was just popcorn in the area. I'm sure that's not really what a Bearcat smells like. And he said, no, I Googled it afterward. That is what they smell like. So I'm going to go find myself a Bearcat at some point because I always want to be around the smell of popcorn. 0-1 the count to Smith. The delivery and the pitch, low and outside. Nice stop by Andrews. Graham at second thought about going, but saw that Andrews stopped it. Count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 run in this game for the Saints. Came in the last inning against Caleb Killian, who made a spectacular first start of the season for the Riptide. This one is popped up. It's on the infield. Phillip and Gomez. Phillip will take it for out number 2. So there are runners at first and second, one of them in scoring position. But with 2 away, it doesn't make much of a difference. Just looking to get this hitter. And the hitter is Gabriel Chavez, the designated hitter, who is 0 for 2. Chavez digging in. Waiting the first pitch from Orndorff. Out of the stretch, he delivers. And grounded back up the middle, and Orndorff, quick hands, has it. 1-3, out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-1 Riptide on the Orange County Riptide Network. Orndorff wiggled his way out of trouble there. Stay tuned. Guys, I came over this year in the form of a hot dog from Mr. Parente. Have to thank him for that. No white beard and jolly red suit, but still, just as lucky to have him. Leading off the bottom of the fifth for the Riptide, it's the first baseman, Jake Polshin. It's going to be Polshin, Shaw, and Phillip. Polshin 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch. From the new pitcher, Quinn Robinson is down low. 1-0. Polshin got on via an error by Briggs in the second and then hit a sacrifice fly to score a run in the third. A big swing and a miss, 1-1 the count now. Quinn Robinson from the University of Tennessee. He's a senior. He has an 8-0 record. That's very impressive. And an ERA of 0. He's never given up a run in college play. Nice play by the shortstop. Gibri spins around and makes the throw for out number 1. So Polshin couldn't get on there. And it's going to be tough for this Riptide lineup to get through to Robinson. His batting average against as a volunteer is only 200. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Tate Shaw. Shaw, 0 for 1 on the day, a strikeout, and he got hit by a pitch on the shoulder. There's a big swing and a miss from him. 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch fouled straight back off the end of the bat from Shaw. 0-2. I've talked about this before, but Shaw from the University of Texas, he's got those Longhorn gloves, and I said, lucky for him, the Riptide's secondary color is orange. He doesn't have to change them. And they look good on him. The 0-2. Outside with the changeup. 1-2. Quinn Robinson, a low three-quarter release. Something you see a lot from Major League pitchers nowadays. And a lot of Major League scouts try to avoid pitchers who have the low three-quarter release. And something I always say, that one's low, it's 2-2. Something I always say is, when are scouts going to stop worrying about mechanics? You see pitchers all the time, Chris Sale, Madison Bumgarner, even Clayton Kershaw, with super funky delivery methods, just ways to get hitters out, and still they are very successful. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman, Krob, on to first for out number 2. Shaw's retired. But you see that all the time, just very unique, unseen before deliveries. Chris Sale, Bumgarner, and Kershaw all lefties, and maybe it's just a lefty thing that they can get away with it with their unique placement of the ball where the hitter can't see it immediately. But I've just noticed that throughout my time watching MLB Network the past 10 years of my life. When are scouts going to stop worrying about that? Bo Phillip up to the plate now. Continued his 6-game hitting streak today. Had a single in the second that drove in 2, and then flew out to Smith in center field in the third. Now he's up here in the 5th. In danger of not scoring 2 runs for the first time in 4 innings. 2 away here. It's 1-1 the count now to Phillip. Bo Phillip, our player of the game. Last time against the Academy Barons. A big swing and a miss. It's 1-2 now. But I asked him, I said, Phillip, are you gaining a lot of confidence? And he said, a lot of it has to do with my teammates. We're starting to gel a little bit better. We're starting to get to know each other more. We're starting to all really like each other. So I'm just getting more confident in the dugout. And when I get to the plate, I just feel so much better. The 1-2, low and inside. 3-1 the count is. I apologize. I got my balls and strikes mixed up. We're in the hitter's count now. The count is 2-2. I was right. Look at that. Our scoreboard goes to show you can't always trust your scoreboard. The 2-2. Low and outside. 3-2. The count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 6-1 lead for the Riptide. Trying to put a 4th straight crooked number up there. And this one's fouled straight off the plate. Count will remain full. Something I also talked to Phillip about, I was asking him, with how hot he's been hitting, was he expecting a move up in the lineup? He usually hits in the 9 spot. And he said, you know, that's Tiger's decision, the head coach for the Riptide. I can't really control that, but I'd love to see it if I could. And what do you know, now in the 7th spot in this game. Here he lines one through the 56 hole into left field. He's going to be on first with his 2nd hit of the day. Up to the plate now comes Mitch Andrews from Lamar University,
Andrews.
sitting behind the plate. Andrews, one of the funniest guys on this Riptide team. Every time, I swear to you, every time we do a post-game interview with our player of the game, Andrews is right there behind the camera doing something. It's something different every time. But he's trying to mess with me and our player of the game. It was Blair Lewis and Will Proctor and Bo Phillip. Phillip slides back in safely on that pickoff attempt. And then on the bus ride, something else he did was he taught a bunch of the Riptide players how to play poker. So he is a teacher, a mentor, and a great man on the field. Big swing and a miss, it's 0-1. Phillip, the man on first, via the single. Not the fastest shortstop, but does have great range. Not necessarily a threat to steal. They're going to try to pick him off again, and this time they got him. Phillip started to take his secondary lead, was not expecting the pickoff, and could not slide back in time. So 3 away here. Score remains 6-1 Riptide as we head into the 6th inning on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. We're in the 6th inning here at the University of Concordia in Irvine. A 6-1 lead for the Riptide. They look to get their 4th straight win of the year. Their last 3 wins coming against Conejo in Conejo, and then a 2-game sweep in the 1-1 against the Academy Barons, and now another 1-1 against this Arroyo Seco Saints team. First pitch from Orndorff is popped up. It's on the infield, maybe shallow center field. Phillip has a beat on it, calls everybody off, and makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Orndorff. Orndorff struggled through his first inning of work, but got away with no runs. Gave up 2 singles.
That's the first baseman, number 9, Blake Burton.
And that was Spencer Mossberg. Now coming up to the plate is the cleanup man, Blake Burton. Burton, 1 for 2 on the day, a single and a strikeout. But now he's facing the man from Cincinnati. First pitch is fouled straight back into the chain link fence, 0-1. Burton got the single in the 4th. The one inning that the Saints were able to get to Killian. The 0-1, swung on and missed, a foul tip into the glove of Andrews, 0-2. And that single set up the single for Gibbery, the next man up, which would drive home Spencer Mossberg, who got hit by a pitch earlier in the third. Here's a high fly ball drifting out of play to the right, and it does fall out of play. Count will remain at 0-2. We'll do it all again. Something I noticed in between innings here. First things first, I'd like to apologize for saying Cooper Yule's name wrong. It is not Ole. There's a high fly ball in the shallow left center field. Fletcher is underneath it, waiting, and makes the catch for out number 2. It is not Cooper Ole. It is Cooper Yule, everybody. Yule. I'd like to apologize for that, but something I noticed in between innings was since Cooper is not here, and Polshin, the only other catcher, is playing first today, the only one who can catch Orndorff and Killian's warm-ups is Andrews, and Andrews was up to the plate when Phillip got picked off last half inning. So Andrews had to go back to the dugout. First pitch, inside, ball 1. Andrews had to go back to the dugout, get all of his gear on, and then return back to behind home plate to catch the warm-ups for Orndorff. Meanwhile, Orndorff was just out there, ground ball to the third baseman. Polson has it on 2 hops, fires on over to first for out number 3. So Orndorff gets through the messy warm-up where he had to wait a while, just kept his arm warm, throwing ghost pitches. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still 6-1, another nice inning of work for Orndorff. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. We'll be right back. So now Mitch Andrews is going to step back up there for the second time in as many innings. Had to step away from the plate after Phillip got picked off for the final out of the 5th. And returning out there for his second inning of work is Quinn Robinson. Robinson, arguably one of the toughest pitchers to hit in all of the CCL. That being said, he does have a 4.5 ERA. Struggled in his first appearance of league play. Pitched 2 innings and gave up 1 earned run, 2 runs total. Only struck out 1 and gave up 3 hits. No walks, though, has good control. Here's a ground ball to the left side, just foul over the third base bag. Not over, that'd be fair, but just to the left of the third base bag. 1-1. Andrews awaiting the 1-1 from Robinson. A changeup at the knees, 1-2. Still very hot out here. I'm keeping several drips of sweat away from my eyes. But it's nice. My friends have been saying I'm looking more caramel. Every day I look more and more like I used to in high school when I played water polo. Line drive into right center field. Andrews is going to be on with the base hit. His second hit of the year, and you could hear a large applause coming from the Riptide dugout. They love Andrews, and they're glad he could get on base. So Andrews now 1 for 3, and that's going to bring up the second baseman Gomez, who is 0 for 2 on the day, with a strikeout and a line out to the left fielder Mossberg. First pitch, dribbled down the line, and it rolls foul. Gomez tried to run it out, And the catcher, Graham, gave it a good run as well, but couldn't handle the bare hand. And it rolled out of play. Excuse me, just foul, not out of play. 0-1 now to Gomez. Gomez getting the start. His third start of league play. His first start of league play came against the same Saints team in Pasadena for the first league game of the year. He started at third base in that one. The 0-1. Big cut on the changeup. Swings over it, 0-2. Andrews, a very small lead over there at first. Only about a step and a half. Gomez awaits the 0-2. Swung on and fouled to the left side. Almost a nice play by Parente making the right-handed grab, but it falls out of his glove. Let's not see that out there in the outfield, man. 0-2 the count. Gomez awaiting from Robinson. Robinson in the stretch. He toes the rubber and delivers. Outside, that's going to get away. Andrews is going to take second. He's just going to lollygag in there. Standing up. He could take his time. Had a lot of time. Graham not able to get to it quickly. Gomez last year played in the Great Lakes League in Minnesota. And the one thing he told me, he said every away game was a journey because he was the farthest team from any other team, and every away game, it was a 2 to 5 hour bus trip. So he's used to all these long trips. He's a veteran. You should see him immediately. He puts in the headphones, talks to some of the teammates, and can fall asleep just like that. The 1-2, down below the knees with the two-seamer, 2-2. The runner at second is Andrews. There's nobody out. The bottom of the sixth, a 6-1 Riptide lead. 6 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. 1 run on 4 hits and 1 error for the Saints. That's another two-seamer, maybe a changeup down low, 3-2. The count runs full. Awaiting the payoff pitch. Graham waiting for the sign from his coach. Gomez called time, taking a little bit too long. Graham gives the sign. Robinson delivers. Swung on and missed. The changeup gets him out on his front foot. 1 away.
Next up, the right fielder from Lewis and Clark State, number 9, Joey Parente.
Now it's the top of the order for the Riptide. Joey Parente. Parente 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. That's exactly what Parente does. It's ironic that he comes from Lewis and Clark State because he explores those base paths every time he gets on. Sees them all. 1 out now here. Runner at second is Andrews. First pitch drilled into right center field. But the right fielder, White, gets there. Andrews is going to tag, and he's going to be safe at third. But with 2 outs, it doesn't make much difference. It's going to lie on Proctor to drive him in.
The designated hitter from the University of Georgia, number 11, Will Proctor.
Will Proctor out of the University of Georgia. His dad played baseball for Georgetown from 1984 to 1988. Baseball is in his blood. And what do they say? Blood runs thicker than water. A long ways from University of Georgia right now. 2 outs now. The runner at third is Andrews. First pitch. Down low with the fastball, 1-0. Proctor leads the CCL in extra base hits. The 1-0 runs inside, almost nailed Proctor, 2-0. Proctor didn't even flinch. Will Proctor, he digs back in and awaits the 2-0 delivery. Here it is. Down low, a changeup, 3-0. On deck waits Dominic Fletcher, the big powerhouse from the University of Arkansas. He's just like a Razorback. Quick, powerful, and can kill you if you're not wary. The 3-0 outside, a 4-pitch walk to Proctor. There's going to be runners at first and third for the Fletch. Dominic Fletcher. Dominic Fletcher, don't let his small size fool you. He is indeed powerful, and they were so excited to have him, immediately put him in the 3-hole, and he has delivered. He is exactly what you think of when you think of a 5-tool player. He can hit for contact, hit for power. First pitch, a big swing and a miss, trying to hit a 3-run home run there. 0-1. He can hit for contact, power. He's got good speed. That's why he's in center field. Got a great glove. That's why he's in center field. He's got a great arm. That's why he's in center field. Pickoff attempt there. Proctor gets back in, standing up. Trying to make sure no 31 shenanigans, as I like to say, are going on. And that's another thing I don't like about the new rule changes in baseball. Something that a lot of pitchers like to do is when it was runners at first and third, Proctor goes, the throw down is short. Proctor will be in there with a stolen base. So runners at second and third now, waiting for a single from Fletcher to drive in two, possibly. But as I was saying, something I don't like is that a lot of the times when there was runners at first and third, what a pitcher would do is step toward third and then look at first. They called that the 31 move. Since about 2 years ago, it's actually been eliminated. A high, deep fly ball into right field. That is gone! So the first swing didn't do it, but this time swings just as hard, and Dominic Fletcher was going to touch them all. His first home run of the year, the second home run of league play for the Riptide, and it has the Riptide up 9-1 as they take an 8-run lead. And Fletcher getting helmets all around, especially from Polson, the man on deck. He's going to get helmets from everybody. Everybody coming out of the dugout to greet him. First home run for the Riptide we've seen here in league play at the University of Concordia. The only other home run here this year was in the preseason non-league play against the Orange County Surf by Luke Husung. First pitch to Polson, inside, 1-0. Polson awaiting the delivery from Robinson. Nobody in the bullpen. This is his inning. Swung on and drilled into right field. That's going to be a base hit for Polson. He's on for the third time with his third hit.
Next up, the first baseman from Houston Baptist University, number 8, Jake Polson.
That's going to bring up the first baseman, Jake Polson. Polson, not his typical day. He is 0 for 2. Has gotten on base via an error by Alex Briggs at third, though. There's actually a new man out at third for the Saints. It's Kyler Brudwick. So Kyler Brudwick looking to do some damage from his spot. First pitch to Polson was low. It's 1-0. And the 1-0. Swung on and popped up on the right side. Looks like it's going to be foul. Nobody's going to get there in time. It's 1-1. 2 away here. A 3-run homer for Dominic Fletcher. First home run we've seen for the Riptide in league play at home. Only other home run in league play for the Riptide came off the bat of Eric Wagaman, who has since left to join the Yankees, got drafted in the 13th round. Congratulations to him. Good luck in all his future baseball endeavors. The 1-1. This one's popped a little bit more straight, and it's going to be caught by Greg White, who makes a great running catch. Had to run a long way, possibly a country mile, to make that one. But there's 3 outs now, but not before 3 runs come across on the Dominic Fletcher 3-run shot. We thought he had power, but we didn't see it until now. We head to the top of the 7th. It's 9-1 Riptide on the Orange County Riptide Network. 9-1 here. The Riptide lead over the Arroyo Seco Saints. We're in the top of the 7th now, and leading it off is going to be Dustin Krob. Orndorff back in for his 3rd inning of work. He delivers and tosses one up. That gets smacked right back into center field for a base hit. So Krob leads off the 7th with a single. There's going to be 1 on, nobody out.
Next up, the right fielder, number 20, Greg White.
Now coming in, the right fielder who made a spectacular running catch to end the bottom of the 6th, Greg White. White 0 for 2 on the day. Popped up to the shortstop, Phillip, and flew out to Fletcher in center. First pitch to White. He bunts and pops it up, but it goes back into the chain link fence. 0-1. Waiting on deck is the catcher, Scotty Graham, and he's going to get that foul ball. There is a bat boy for the Riptide, and Jeremy. He's absolutely beloved by everyone in the dugout. But no ball boys. So Scotty Graham bringing it into his own hands, gathering it from the on-deck circle. Pick-off attempt there, but Krob slides back in safely, gets a little dirty. Krob, the brother of Brendan Krob, so Brendan and Dustin. One's an infielder and one's a catcher. The catcher being Brendan. He's in the dugout for the Saints today. 2 years apart, like me and my brother. And that's what we're looking to be next year, as the two Krobs are a sophomore and a senior. Dustin being the older one of the two. My brother and I are going to be a sophomore and senior as well. Runner at first is Dustin Krob. 0-2 the count to Greg White. The 0-2. Outside. Andrews falling on top of it, making sure he blocks it. Short leadoff. Umpire asking Orndorff to step off there. 1-2 the count to White. 2 great innings of work for Orndorff, looking for his 3rd straight. Another pickoff attempt. Krob slides back in safely. Bullpen is going for the Riptide. Out there, it appears like Seth Jordan is the man warming up. Also, the Saints bullpen is going. Working in there, looks like Dylan Raish. He takes another one, down low, 2-2 now to White. So 2 lefties, 1 in each bullpen. We'll see if either of them come in next inning or possibly this inning if Orndorff needs to be taken out. 9-1 to score, the Riptide lead. The 2-2 swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Andrews. That's a strikeout. Grab some pine, White. First strikeout for Orndorff. Those have been hard to come by for him, but he's not necessarily a strikeout pitcher. He is somebody who keeps the ball up, likes to put the ball in the air, which can be dangerous, but Orndorff has done a good job of limiting the danger. There's a hard line drive by Graham into right field, just out of the reach of Polshin, who gave it his best diving effort. It's going to be 1st and 2nd with 1 away for Kyler Brudwick. Kyler Brudwick came in the 4th inning to replace Alex Briggs. Briggs had made 2 errors on the day.
Pinch hitting for the Saints, number 11, Kyler Brudwick.
So Brudwick looking to do some damage with 2 runners on. Orndorff has been here before, though. It was just in the 5th inning when he had this exact same situation, got out of it. No harm done. The first pitch. Swung on and drilled into left center field. Fletcher giving chase, but it's going to drop. They're going to send around the runner. The throw to the plate is not in time. It gets past him, and Orndorff gets the backup. The throw down to 3rd. Gets Graham. So Krob comes in to score, gets through Andrews, but the nice backup by Orndorff gets the runner trying to take 3rd. So it's a single, an RBI, and then the very classic 8-2-1-5 to get Graham at third.
Got the center fielder number 6, Brian Smith.
That's going to bring up the top of the lineup. Brian Smith, 0 for 3 on the day. First pitch. Outside corner fastball, 0-1. 2 away here after a very heads-up play by Orndorff, backing up Andrews. 0-1 the count. And the pitch. Swung on and popped straight back, and now the play just over our heads, but not over the hill and through the woods. 0-2 the count now. Smith has flown out to Fletcher, flown out to Parente, and popped up to Phillip. Those have been the 3 guys to get the most work in tonight in the field. The 0-2. Fouled straight back, almost into a spectator's camera. Count remains 0-2. We'll do it all over again. Smith coming into today, 294 average. 1 extra base hit. It was a double. No RBIs on the day, but there is a runner at second. And he could possibly get his first with a single. Does strike out a little bit. 7 strikeouts on the year. Does have a swing and miss tendency. The 0-2. Drilled into center field. Fletcher moving to his right. He settles underneath it and makes the catch for out number 3. So 1 run comes across for the Saints, but they're still down by 7. 9-2, the Riptide lead as we get into the bottom of the 7th. Oh, feel nice. The stretch. I hope you brought your mat. We'll be right back. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. Coming into today, the Arroyo Seco Saints were up by a game and a half over the Riptide, and after today, if the score should hold, they'll be down by just a half game as they head into the second game of the 2-game series. Luke Husung comes in to pinch hit and immediately lines one into the gap, and he's got some wheels. Watch him run. He's going to round second and put on the brakes. A leadoff double for Luke Husung coming in to pinch hit for Tate Shaw. So Husung immediately comes in and makes an impact. Leadoff double. But staying into the game is the shortstop, Bo Phillip. And Phillip looking to continue his hot streak. 2 for 3 on the day. His last time up, he hit a single and got picked off. So not looking to do that, but once again looking to get a single. First pitch, fastball on the inside corner. 0-1. The new pitcher in for the Saints. It's Dylan Raish, excuse me. Sorry about that. The left-handed pitching sophomore from Arizona State. So he is a Sun Devil, and the sun is out, very hot. It's being a little bit of a double. Here's a high fly ball, deep left center field, and that's going to be a one-hopper off the wall. So Phillip arguably going to switch places with Husung and driving in another run. They have hung 10 on the Saints here today. Phillip's fans showing their support here. He is on fire, and they did say he was hot. So Phillip making a very good impression on everybody here today. He's been one of the hottest hitters in the entire California Collegiate League. Stepping up to the plate now. In for Mitch Andrews. First pitch by Raish. High and tight. 1-0. Pinch hitter coming in is Phil Steering. Here's a ground ball straight back to the pitcher, and they don't get anybody. Phillip, it looked like they were going to get him. He let off a little bit too much from second. Looked like they were going to have him in a pickle. But then the pitcher decided to throw on over to first, and then an error by the first baseman, and they don't get anybody. It's Blake Burton who made the error. There's going to be runners at first and third with nobody out. And already one run across. It's 10-2 Riptide. Now Graham going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Raish. Not feeling himself perhaps. The pitching coach going to go out and talk to him as well. Paul Gomez stepping up to the plate. Gomez getting ready for his fourth turn at bat. 0 for 3 with a line out, a very hard line out to Mossberg and left, and 2 strikeouts. Runners at first and third are Steering and Phillip respectively. Steering making his second appearance in playing a game in as many days. Yesterday, he had 3 hits, including a double and 2 RBI against the Barons, which led to that 7-3 win. But once again, it was Bo Phillip with a 2-run triple and scored later on the sacrifice fly in that inning by Aaron Greenfield, who really put it through. That was a 3-0 lead early, and they kept it, didn't look back. First pitch to Gomez, low and away with a 2-seamer. 2-0 the count now. Gomez looking to drive in 1, maybe 2 with something in the gaps. Phil Steering, the first baseman, has good wheels. Here he lines it down the left field line, and I was mentioning extra bases. That's going to one-hop off the wall. Steering had to hold up in case it got caught, but it's going to be a double for Paul Gomez, his first hit of the day, which drives in 1.
Next up, the right fielder from Lewis and Clark State, number 9, Joey Parente.
That's going to be the top of the lineup now. Joey Parente took the last couple of days off expecting to get drafted. It didn't happen. It's unfortunate, but they are glad to have him back. He has been a superstar for the Riptide. Today, he is 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and the first pitch is down low, 1-0. I got to talk to Parente before the very first game against this Saints team. And we just talked a little bit about stuff, and he said his favorite animal, or the animal he'd like to be for a day, if he could, would be a wolf. And I said, well, you know, most people say the lion, I want to be the king of the jungle, or an eagle, I want to soar over the skies. And he said, nope, I want to be a wolf. The 2-0 runs high and outside, 3-0. And he said he wanted to be a wolf because they are so teamwork-oriented, and they are always together. They create brotherhoods with one another, and that's what he loves, and that's why he'd want to be a wolf. And then I just immediately was like, who wouldn't want you on your team? Who wouldn't want you on a team? Such a good guy. He takes that one. It's a 4-pitch walk, and that's going to load the bases for Will Proctor. Second walk of the day for Parente.
11.
Still nobody out. So Will Proctor, no home runs on the day, but does have 2 triples. Proctor awaiting the first pitch from Raish. Raish delivers, swung and fouled straight back into the chain link fence. 0-1. At first, it's Parente. At second, Paul Gomez. Standing on third is Phil Steering. Proctor, the man at bat, the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the right and out of play. Into the jungle, as I like to call it. 0-2. Proctor, as I've said before, is comfortable in this situation, though. 0 for 3 on the day. Got on base after an error by Alex Briggs and walked his last time up. Here's a high pop-up on the right side. Out of play, right above the Arroyo Seco dugout. And we'll do 0-2 once again. Infield playing very normal depth. The shortstop, Gibri, lined up a little bit behind the runner at second, Gomez. Nobody away, the 0-2. High and outside with the fastball, 1-2. Still in the hitter's advantage, the pitcher's advantage. Proctor looking for Raish to make a mistake. Proctor likes that ball low and inside, and I hope Raish didn't hear me. The 1-2. Down low in the dirt with the changeup, 2-2. That's where Proctor does most of his damage. He is a pull hitter. Sort of a jack of all trades on a baseball diamond. He was playing second base one day, and then late in the game came in to pitch against the Foresters. There's a pop-up back and out of play. Right out of reach of my arm. I mean, not right out of reach. It was a couple feet away, but I gave it my best effort. Count will remain at 2-2. Proctor steps back in. Raish toes the rubber and fires. The hammer tried to get him on the front door. No good. 3-2. The count runs full. So Proctor, being very patient, works it from 0-2 to 3-2. And now Raish can't make a mistake. Has to challenge him. And if you're Proctor, you got to be expecting fastball. The 3-2. It is a fastball, fouled to the right and out of play. That one is over the hill and through the woods. Not quite to grandmother's house, though. Didn't quite make it. Wind blowing slightly to the right, as you can tell by the American flag. Out beyond left center field, just above the R in Concordia. The 3-2, take 2. Swung on and fouled off once again. 3-2, take 3 will reset. Still nobody out. Already one run across after the leadoff double from Luke Husung, who came in for Tate Shaw. That was followed by a double by Bo Phillip, and then an error by Blake Burton, which put Phil Steering, who came in for Mitch Andrews, on, and then a double by Paul Gomez, and a walk to Parente has the bases loaded. Here's a hard line drive down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is foul. So we'll do full count, take 4. Looking like a TV show right now. So Proctor returns to the plate after running that one out. Only person that knew it was going to be foul, or they could sort of stay back at least. It was Phil Steering, so he just sort of stood there and waited to see if it was foul. Knew he could score if it was fair. The 3-2 once again, fouled straight back again, and Proctor doing his best Bee Gees impression, staying alive. There have been 10 pitches in this at-bat, and the 11th is swung on in line, back up the middle. Smith giving chase. He's not going to get there. It's going to fall. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and it's going to be first and third. Still nobody out. 3 runs across in this bottom of the 7th. That's 4 runs across, actually. Phil Steering and Paul Gomez coming through. It's 13-2 Riptide, and this is a much different team than the Saints saw in the first game. They've been starting to gel. They got some of their better players back from their colleges, Dominic Fletcher and Tate Shaw among them, and the starter, Caleb Killian. First pitch to Dominic Fletcher, the man at the plate, up high with the fastball, 1-0. So after 3 straight 2-run innings from the 2nd to the 4th, they followed that up with a goose egg in the 5th, and then 3 in the 6th, and 4 here in the 7th. Still nobody out. Swung on and fouled straight back off the shin guard of Graham behind the plate. 1-1, it's even. Man on first is Proctor. 2 RBI single. On third, it's Parente. The 1-1 runs in, and that's going to hit Fletcher in the lower back. A battle scar. Grimaced a little bit, but then shook it off. Bases will be loaded once again. Raish still out there. The bullpen for the Saints. They've got it going now. Out there warming up, Joshua Walker, the senior from Butler. Right-hander. Butler has been pretty good for them thus far, but he's got to take some time to warm up. Until then, it's going to be Raish, and he's going to be facing off against Logan Polson, the cleanup man. Yet to hit a home run in this season, but he swings pretty hard there, tries to hit a 5-run home run, and comes up empty just to the left side. It's foul, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery from Raish. Inside, Polson thought about it. It was a 2-seamer, but he laid off. It's 1-1. Something I always find funny about Tiger Peterson, the coach for the Riptide, the 1-1 swung on and dribbled back up the middle. They're going to toss home and to first in the dirt, but recovered nicely by Burton. So they go 1, 2, 3, the double play. There's going to be 2 out now, runners at second and third. Already 4 runs across. It's 13-2 Riptide. Something Tiger Peterson does, standing there, he never sits in his staple. Never sits in that little coach's box right near third. In fact, he might be closer to third base than the players most of the time. Line drive back up the middle by Polshin, but straight at the center fielder Smith, who makes the catch for out number 3. 4 runs come across. A huge inning, the biggest inning of the night for the Riptide. They're up 13-2. We head into the 8th. We'll be right back on the OC Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Riptide. It's Seth Jordan from Texas State University. Jordan having himself a spectacular year. The lefty has been almost a sure thing for the Riptide. The 4.5 ERA doesn't show how dominant he has been. In his 6 innings of work, he has 7 strikeouts, giving up 8 hits. They have all been soft contact, albeit I think 1 or 2 were doubles. But for the most part, he is very good at getting hitters off of balance. First pitch, outside, ball 1. The first batter he faces is going to be Gabriel Chavez. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside corner with another fastball. It's 2-0. The 2-0 delivery from Jordan. Swung on and missed a big cut. 2-1 now. Jordan, one of the many players on this Riptide team from Flower Mound, Texas. Goes to Texas State University. He's going to be a sophomore next year. The 2-1 is high and outside. 3-1 now. We're in the hitter's count. Jordan was spectacular in high school. Had a great year last year as well. This one's popped up in the right center field. Giving chase is Parente, and he will get there to make the catch. 1 away. So Chavez helping out Jordan there a little bit. Looked like it would have been low, but he goes after it, and Parente makes the catch. And Jordan was spectacular in high school, and he's still a stud now for Texas State. Actually spent his first 2 years of college with the West Virginia Mountaineers. In high school, he had a 10-0 record his senior year, and threw a one-hitter in their conference championship game. Count is 0-1 now. The 0-1 delivered is a changeup just outside. 1-1. The count is even to Spencer Mossberg. And the bat is broken. A swing and a ground ball to the second baseman Gomez, who tosses on to steering the new first baseman, out number 2. That's the first shattered bat we've seen. The spike standing out a couple feet in front of home plate. And I hope you got a warranty on that one. The only other broken bat I've seen thus far this year, it was Dominic Fletcher against the Academy Barons. I didn't see it happen, but after the game, me and some of the other interns, we were talking, and I saw a broken bat, and it was the handle that was almost sawed in half up to the barrel. Most of it was gone. And I don't even know how that could happen. Here's a fly ball out to right field. Parente drifting back into his left. He gets underneath and makes the catch. Out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for Jordan. A nice inning of work. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 13-2, the Riptide lead. Looks like they're going to get their 4th in a row, but I don't want to jinx it. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Leading things off in the bottom of the 8th with a 13-2 lead for the Riptide, their biggest lead of any game this year. Up by 11, Luke Husung He led off the bottom of the 7th with a double. Looking to do the same here against the new pitcher, Joshua Walker. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Husung got off to a struggling start to the year. Struck out the second most times in the CCL. Shortened up his string, worked on his swing, worked on some stuff with Tiger Peterson. He's become more patient, swinging less frequently. And because of that, he's making more good contact and getting on base more often. It's 1-1 the count now. Walker, the senior from Butler, 5'11", 165, the 1-1. Swung on and grounded to the third baseman. Brudwick has it on one hop and fires on over to Burton at first. 1 away. Now coming up, Bo Phillip. And I know it's 79 out here, but it's probably 200 degrees right around Bo Phillip. He's been so hot. Burning blue, and I'm not just talking about his jersey. The first pitch on the inside corner, 0-1. Walker spent his last year at Butler compiling a 5.32 ERA, 2-0 record. Check swing. They're going to say he went around. It's 0-2 now to Phillip. Phillip currently 3 for 4 on the day with 3 RBI, 2 singles and a double. He's also gotten picked off. Doesn't want that to be the highlight. The 0-2. Got him on the inside corner. Phillip knew it. The slider got him looking. 2 away. Now coming up, Phil Steering, the man from the University of Hawaii, Hilo. Spent the last few years on the Surf, worked his way up to the Riptide, and now he's here looking to do some damage. Got on last time via the error by Burton at first. First pitch, a changeup. Got Steering out on his front foot. Obviously wasn't expecting that. 0-1. Steering awaits the 0-1. Swung on and grounded down the line, just foul to the left of third base. Steering a .333 average. Yesterday he got the start. Has 2 singles and a double. And the double came yesterday. He got 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored. That's a foul ball to the right and out of play over on the French Hill Reserve. 0-2. Steering, waits. The delivery. Fastball, low and outside corner. He got him looking. 3 straight pitches. That was good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Still a 13-2 lead for the Riptide. We head to the top of the 9th. And according to my probability calculations, it looks like the Riptide are going to come away with this one, move to 4-4 on the year. We'll see if they can do it. It's going to be a new pitcher out there, and it's Will Proctor. Look at that. You get something special tonight. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. So Will Proctor, he's been DHing all today, and now he gets his time on the mound. Only pitched 1 inning prior to today, and it was against the Ventura Halos, a loss for the Riptide. And he had a perfect inning. Struck out 1. It was 3 up, 3 down. First batter he faces is Gibbrey. The big hook. That broke a whole foot, possibly. I thought that was going to hit Gibbrey in the head, but then it just broke back down Did not buckle the knees of the shortstop, Gibbery, though. 0-1 the count, the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside with the fastball. 1-1 the count's even. 13-2, the Riptide lead. 13 runs on 15 hits and an error. 2 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors for the Saints. That one's fouled straight back. 1-2. Gibbery 1 for 3 on the day. There he almost chases the high fastball. That's tough for a hitter to lay off of, but he does. 2-2. The count is evened back up. On deck waits Dustin Krob. And the 2-2. There's the hook once again. Dribbled down the line. Fouled. Polson gathers it and tosses it back into his pitcher, Proctor. 2-2. Take 2. We get ready. The Teuces are wild. And here it is, outside with a fastball. 3-2, the count runs full. Proctor in danger of giving up his first base runner of the year. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped back into the glove of Polshin, who's the new catcher. 1 away in the top of the 9th.
Next up, the second baseman, number 4, Dustin Krob.
Dustin Krob going to step up now. 2 outs away from a 4th straight victory for the Riptide, moving them above 500, and it looked like they were in for a pretty troubling season after starting off league play 1-4. First pitch, swung on and popped up. Looks like it's going to stay in play. Steering, giving chase, coming in from first. Does the pop-up dance and makes the catch for out number 2. So 1 pitch, and that's out number 2. Proctor is going to face Greg White now, and they're 1 out away from their biggest win of the year. Greg White 0 for 3 on the day. He's made a couple of nice plays out and right. Popped up to Phillip in the 3rd. Flew out to Fletcher in the 5th. And then struck out in the 7th. Proctor deals. First pitch, a fastball right down Main Street, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, blocked nicely by Polshin, used his shin guards effectively. 0-2. Two away here. The Saints down to their last strike. The pitch. Slider in the dirt, taken by White. 1-2. Yeah. The 1-2 pitch, grounded to the third baseman Polson on the couple hops on his backhand over the steering for out number 3. So the Riptide take this one. The win going to David Orndorff. The loss coming to Tommy Costello. 6 runs through the first 4 innings, 7 runs in the 6th and 7th. They absolutely dominated this game all the way through. For their 4th straight win, they moved to 5-4 on the year and now are just a half game back of the Saints, and they look to take the lead in their division, the South Division, when they face the Saints tomorrow. Stay tuned for the post-game interview. We'll try to get Dominic Fletcher, the man with a 3-run home run in this one. We saw a lot of those when he was a Razorback. We're hoping to see a lot more as we continue play for the Riptide. Thank you for tuning in to the OC Riptide Network. The final score, 13-2. I'm Michael Oefling. Congrats. 5 wins on the year.